Hey, good morning guys, Touch coming at you, Monday, April 24th, and we're at T-minus 146. We're out in the garage early morning. It's about 7:45, and we're going to try to run some errands this morning. We don't have to go into work today. So we're going to try to find a piece of glass today. So we're going to run up to the glass store. We're also going to go up to Princess Auto, and Princess Auto is like a Harbor Freight up here in Canada. So we're going to go to Princess Auto and pick up those gloves. We'll probably pick up a couple bags of probably crushed glass to start with for the cabinet as well. So that's what the plan is for today. So we'll bring you back when we make some progress. Alright guys, making good progress on the blasting cabinet project. We've got the new gloves installed and we've got the new glass installed, which is nice to be able to finally see through there after about, I don't know, a year or so. I probably haven't been able to see real well. Anyway, I'm happy with that. Now we're going to work on installing a light in there. I've just got the LED light in there for now. So we're probably going to install a light using this, used to have a cabinet light that was crap, so we'll probably end up just sort of taking this mounting area off and actually pushing a wire through there to mount the new light. That's it for now. Alright guys, there's with the new cabinet light installed. You can see we got lots of light in there. So I'm happy about that. It's just a fluorescent tube I've got mounted up in there, so I think we're good to go blasting. I did buy some glass media, so probably push this back into position. We'll fill her up and we'll test her out. So we got our first test piece ready to go. This is the bottom spring pan. Just did a quick wire brush on it just to get off some of the dirt, and we'll throw it in the cabinet and see how we do. So when you have a small compressor like mine, it's a bit of a test of patience when you're doing sandblasting. You've got to constantly stop and wait for the compressor to recharge and cool down a little bit, or you'll burn the thing out. So we learn to do other jobs in the meantime while it's charging up. So what I plan on doing now is I'm planning on flipping this frame over on the right side, and what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to lower the body back down on the frame after we put it up on some jack stands, and then we'll have a better structure to do our body work on. We'll do it on the original frame. So that's what the plan is. It's going to make a little bit more space in the garage too once we mate the body and the frame back together. Alright, that's it for now guys. Alright guys, quick update for you. The body is back on the chassis and we just got it up on stands on the right side of the garage. So just about to give the garage another quick blowout with the leaf blower, just to get rid of some of the dust out of here. Since it's a nice day out today and we've got the garage doors open, so we'll get to it and we'll continue on the sandblasting. Alright guys, just coming up to 7 o'clock. Sorry for the compressor noise. Anyway, we're just going to start to break down the front suspension units. This is the driver's side. Passenger side is down there. We're going to break it down. We're going to move the components over there on the front towards the garage. We'll keep the left side as the driver's side, the right side as the passenger side, just so not to get them mixed up. And we'll just progressively go through the parts and sandblast and clean them up and get them ready for paint. So that's the objective for this evening. So it's not uncommon for this lower control arm to the bolt to seize into the trunnion. So it's a matter of pretty much starting out with a nice little brass or copper hammer, then graduating to a bigger hammer, and then if that doesn't work, then you graduate to a bigger hammer over there. Anyway, we managed to get it off with the second hammer, so we're not doing too bad, I guess. Alright guys, I'm giving up for tonight. It's about 9:15. I've been fighting this control lever. It will not come off the back of the caliper mounting bracket. It is stuck solid. You can see I can spin it, but the bolt is seized in there, solid, rusted in. Tried pounding it with a hammer. Haven't tried any heat yet, so I thought I'd try some penetrating oil overnight, and we'll get back out here tomorrow and try it then. That's it for tonight guys. We'll get out here later. Here's where we are so far. Good night. Hey, good evening guys. Touch coming at you. Tuesday, April 25th, just coming up to 20 to 6. And back out in the garage tonight, picking up where we left off. And that was trying to get this suspension piece apart. In particular, the steering arm is seized solid to this brake back plate, caliper plate. So we're going to continue working on that tonight. There's the pieces that we've got apart already. We are on, before I forget, let's see where we're at. T-minus 145 it looks like. I think it's Tuesday, yeah. So T-minus 145. So I think the first thing I'm going to do today, before I lose the light, it's kind of a crappy day outside, but I do recall that I have some spare parts in the shed and out in a bin just outside. Some suspension parts for the TR6, TR250 that I might want to have a look at that might be in better condition than these. In particular, I was noticing yesterday on these upper control arms, I'll just show this real quickly if you can see this. Just want you to see those holes, how wallowed out those holes are on these upper control arms. So they're not looking so good. You can see they're pretty ovaled. So in particular, I'm looking for something that looks better than those. I could probably fix these by welding them up and re-drilling them, but if I've got another set, I may as well go ahead and use them. So that's one thing I'm looking for in particular. The other thing is, not suspension related. Let me walk over here. So you remember I took the diff apart. So I was cleaning up the rear cover, and I cleaned all that sludge out of it, so that looks nice. Now the problem is, when I was doing a little bit closer inspection, I noticed that the aluminum case here on the back has got a pretty good crack in it. Let me see here. You probably can't see it very well, but that is definitely cracked. So that's not good. So I have a couple different options. I can look for a different rear case for the differential, and I think I've got a couple of spare diffs hanging around. Not with this style of case, rear case, but I think I've got the TR6 style case, the later style case, which is one piece, not two. Or I could take this to an aluminum welding shop and have that welded up. So we've got a couple options to explore. I'm going to see if I can locate those diffs. I think one of them is at least in the storage shed. One might be up in storage with the cars, but we're going to dig through the shed, like I said, before it gets too dark out, and we'll see what we can find. I'm sure we can find a whole bunch more bits that might be usable in there, so we'll grab what we can and bring it in the garage and see what we can utilize for this restoration. Okay, we'll come back in a bit, guys. Alright guys, so back in from the storage shed, and in some cases even outdoors. This one was outdoors under a tarp because we ran out of room, and it's bloody heavy. So we did manage to find a couple more differentials, so that's good. These ones have the one-piece case on the back. That one's actually looking in pretty good shape. So we'll have a look at that one. And found a couple trailing arms. This bin here is full of a bunch of old TR250 stuff. So it looks like we've got a whole suspension set up in there. Brakes, springs, which I don't need. Vertical links, which I may need. Looks like I've got those upper A-arms down there in the corner, so we'll dig those out and have a look at them and see if they're in better condition than the ones I have. Then I've got a whole bunch of other, here's another set of front suspension bits. I believe those are TR3, but some of the parts are exchangeable. I think there's an overdrive relay in there, and then we got lockers full of stuffs that I got to go through. Some old seals in their old glove box. Who knows what else is in there? And there's some more TR6 bits. So yeah, I've got to go through these bins and see what I've got, because I don't want to order something that I don't need or something that I can reuse. So we better take an inventory of what we got, because we are in the process of ordering parts, so we don't have to wait upon them. So I've already got a couple of orders in to my US mailbox. I'm just waiting for the second one to arrive before I go down and pick it up. So anyway, we think what we'll do is we'll spend a little bit of time, go through here, see what we've got, and then store them back in the shed, if I can get them back in there. Alright, definitely found some usable parts in the stash. There's all the front suspension components, and you can see I've got a few of those upper control arms to have a look at. All those holes look a lot better. They're not wallowed out, so that's good. Got a lot of vertical links, which is good. Looks like one of them is pretty bent, but looks like the brake back plates and a bunch of the other hardware is still good. There's some dust shields that are in good shape, and another set of those upper control arms, so we've got lots to choose from. Also found a couple of bits that might be usable. Plastic fan. I don't know if this is any better than the one that came off the car. This is the 250 and early TR6 fan. There is the later TR6 fan, the red fan. Some sway bar end links, a brand new set of Bosch wires, some window channels, brand new. Brand new Hardy Spicer U-joint. Brand new cap and rotor. Some old bits. There's the heater control valve and the hood catch. Brand new Good Parts spring spacers. So I might need those since I've got Good Parts springs coming. So it's always good to have spacers. These are half-inch spacers for the front springs. Radiator stays. There's the tonneau cover. Buttons. Here's a brand new belt. These I might need. The passenger seat bolt. Actually, it says passenger side seat belt bolts, but I think that's all of them. A couple seals for the windows, brand new. Brand new. This is for the dash support. Brand new hardware, and a bunch of other bits and bobs. Buttons, trunnion stays. Here's my old sender from my TR6 that's in, I'm sure it works, so I kept it. Here's an old clutch slave, or clutch master, which I probably use. More stainless steel hardware, gearbox cover. This is the air deflector shield, which is not used on the 250, but I can definitely use the bolts. Fuel cable clips, an old fuse box. And I forgot I had this, but this is a brand new sun visor kit. That's a $100 bill right there, so brand new, still in the bag. All the hardware and everything. So anyway, a few good bits there I found. So yeah, we'll make use of all this stuff. And we'll take the best bits and leave the other stuff behind. Alright, we'll get back to working on that vertical link and see if I can get that apart now. Well, it took a grinder to get it apart, but it's apart now. Unfortunately, that spacer is going to be a bitch to get off that steering arm. So I'll probably end up having to soak that in a bucket of penetrating oil to be able to get that off. I haven't tried any heat yet on it, but that'll be the next step as well. We've got some time to get it off, so maybe we'll just, like I said, let it sit in some penetrating fluid for a week or so and see if that loosens things up. Alright, we're going to move on to disassembling the passenger side, which I've just got over there. Well, I've never had the vertical links give me so much trouble. I don't know if these have ever been off the car. They are rusted so badly. So there's a spacer in here. It's rusted to this bolt. So we can't get that off. It's got a spacer on both sides. So yeah, that's turning out to be a major problem. So I think what we'll try to do is we'll give them one more shot with heat before we end up grinding the head of that bolt off, which doesn't really help much because the spacer ends up just getting stuck on that bolt, and I do need those spacers. I don't seem to have extra spacers around, or I wouldn't worry about it too much. I probably have some on the back of this one, but that's the only one I can find with the arm on it. So I'll be short a couple of spacers anyway. So I think what we'll do for tonight anyways, we're going to walk away and we'll get it back out here tomorrow night. Unfortunately, not much progress to report. We are working on it slowly and methodically, but we're not making too much headway. Anyway, I'm not going to upload this until I have some content. I'm sorry guys, but that's just the way it goes with this is the boring part, is the the tearing it apart, cleaning and painting it part. So I'll upload less frequently, that's for sure, because you don't want to see all this crap. Anyway, talk to you later. Hey, good evening guys. Tush coming at you. Wednesday, April 26th, T-minus 144, according to the calendar. Back out in the garage, playing around with the disassembly of this French suspension for the 68 TR250. And we were working on this little bastard last night that is totally seized and rusted. No amount of hammering could get that apart. So I do have a spare here. You can see that that's actually bent. I don't know if you can compare it to this guy. Let's see, sorry for the shaky camera. So you can see a pretty good bend in that guy, and this guy is much straighter. Anyway, we're going to try to get this guy apart, regardless of the fact that we have another one. I can basically exchange the vertical link on this one for this one, which is also straight, if need be. But this has become somewhat of a challenge for me to get this apart. So we're going to break out the the torch. We've got the B tank here, the acetylene torch. We're going to heat that sucker up and see if we can get those the steering arm off, along with these spacers, which are rusted solid to that bolt, or to these bolts. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to put the gloves on. We're going to go to town with the heat and see what we can do. If that doesn't work, then we'll go to plan B. Well, we got it to move partially, so that's a start. So we heat it up one more time and give it a few more whacks, and it should be good to go. Then we got to move on to the other one. All right, let's cut you off. Well, that was certainly a chore. Anyway, Tush and the Turbo Torch 1, front suspension none. So we've got our part, which is good, both sections. So I'm happy with that. So we'll move on to the next thing we need to do, and we're going to take apart this upper control arm, and we'll take off the mounts off the lower control arm. So that's the next thing we need to do. Alright guys, happy to say that both sides of the front suspension is now torn down, with the exception of the bushing removal from the upper and lower control arms. The uppers are easy, the lowers are a little bit more difficult, but we'll get to that tomorrow. So I think what I'm going to do next, as far as these parts are concerned, is to decide what I want to swap out from this pile of parts over here. As I mentioned before, the upper control arms have those oval holes on the ones that came off the car, so I'm going to check this set and that set and see which are the better two out of those and replace the parts over here. It looks like the dust shields for the brakes are better over in this pile, so we'll again swap them out. What I generally tend to do is I still like to know what parts came off the actual car, so just for comparison purposes, if I have a fitment problem at a later time. So what I normally do is I just put a quick dot of like liquid paper on the parts that came off. So just a white dot will identify the parts that I swap out for other parts. Like I said, just in case there's a fitment issue, I can go back and look at what actually came off the car. So that's what I'm going to do probably tomorrow, is label all these things, and like I said, we'll go back, go through the pile and see what's better out of the out of all the parts that I have, and we'll go ahead and utilize those. We'll clean them up in the blaster, get them painted, and get them back on the car hopefully soon. Alright guys, that's it for now. We'll maybe upload this. I think I've got a few days on here. It's, I'm sure, not very exciting video, but video nonetheless, so you know that I've been out in the garage at least working on the car. Frustrated at times, but still working. Alright guys, that's it for tonight. Thanks for watching.